Oh, goddamn them anime titties. Where'd they go? Oh, wow. Hello, YouTube. My name is Uidsea, and you definitely didn't see that. We're back in this weekly news thing. That's like actually what I'm calling it. Like, not even calling it holy news in my documents and all that. It's just called weekly news thing. I don't know. Let me know if you want that or if you want holy news. I could do that. It would mean that I don't have to wear the Jesus outfit as much, which I should probably wash it anyway. Anyways, so normally this is where we talk about stuff that everyone's already talking about. But I didn't find too much this week, and everyone's already probably talked about it anyways. So forget that. We're just going to go straight into new releases, which the only new release of note I could see was, oh shoot, I'm backwards today. Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered. Yes, it is a remaster of the Red Faction Guerrilla game. I think it was on 360, I think it was, yeah, 360 and PS3. Either way, Red Faction has historically been one of those games where you get to go around and destroy literally anything in the world. It's a really, really fun game. I highly recommend it if you've never played it. It's a third-person shooter. You also get melee weapons. You essentially are stopping I think it's a like rogue faction on Mars. I think that's what it was. It's been like 8 or 10 years since I've played a Red Faction game, but it is a game where everything is procedurally destructible. You can go take a missile launcher, blow everything up. You can go take your hammer, go knock down a tower. Or, once you beat the game, you can get Mr. Toodles, if I remember this is the game right. And it's a magical unicorn, and it shoots a giant rainbow laser out of its buttocks. Yes, 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 yes. I really should have gotten a GIF to show that. Aha, there you go. Yeah, you get to shoot a laser out of his butt. And he's screaming the whole time. It's probably the greatest video game Easter egg I've ever had the experience of experiencing. Highly, highly recommend Red Master Faction Gorilla Bat Master thing. Yeah. Yep. Uh-huh. Professional. High five me. Anyway, so first game that's coming out that I'm really excited for, it's a game called Farm Folks, and it's now on Kickstarter. It throws back to Harvest Moon, Rune Factory, Stardew Valley type games. It is another farm builder. You get to pet your animals and treat them. The seed making and stuff is a little interesting. You get to, you can feed your cows and chickens, you can chop down whatever you want. I think there's even like building in the game, which is pretty nice. It's like they mixed a tiny bit of Minecraft, or correction, survival games into it, and like you can have a full farm. It does slightly give off the mobile feel with like the way the farm is made, but it looks like that the engine doesn't really have any limits. Me personally, if I do that, I'm gonna go as far as I can and make gigantic farms. The only thing is, like, the animations seem like they're really long and they could kind of be annoying to play in the long term. It would be cool if, like, we could either cancel the anime. Oh no, actually those are fine. But the mining animation, it just, I don't know, it looks a bit big. But either way, very interesting. The character looks like it's perpetually upset or perpetually horrified, which I'm assuming you could probably remake them later on in the game. Either way, great game. There's a Kickstarter. If I remember, I'll link the Kickstarter down in the description below. You can go check it out if you'd like. You have a bunch of different customization options. Look, the characters look so, like, upset. Like, oh god, this is my hand. No, but it looks interesting. There's dynamic weather and all that fun stuff. Go check it out. Highly, highly, highly am looking forward to it. All right, next in my nice long string of historically not really being excited for Fallout 76. Fallout 76 has released the camp trailer. This was like a day after I made the last one, so I couldn't really put much. But yeah, you get to like build camps and stuff, which I hated the building in Fallout 4, so once again, just not really that interested. But you get to, like hunt with your friends and this and that. Really cool. There's a thing called a scorchback, I think, is what popped up. That's going to show up in a few minutes. It's kind of like a chiropteran dragon that's shooting like radiated sound waves at enemies to destroy them, which is pretty fun. It seems like one of those games that I'd love to enjoy, but I just don't have time to sink like 100 hours into an online game with friends. That, and I don't like really playing online games. So, it is what it is. But there's the weird, I think it's called a Scorchback. What is it? Scorch Beast. There you go. And it has like fucking sound waves that you can just shoot out. Look, I mean, the game looks fun. I may get it on like a humble sale or something. I don't know. I'm so torn about this game. Like, I love Fallout, but I hated Fallout 4. I don't know. So it's gonna be interesting. Either way, you get to hunt with your buddies and show all that cool stuff. It's kind of interesting. And then, hey, there goes Fallout 4. Yeah, and we're all dead. Great. Next up on the list, there was a horror game that came out, I think it was last month, called Agony, and it was purported as being big boobied horror. Yes, because like the main monsters that chase you around got some gigantic racks. It's a game where you're pretty much in hell and you're trying to escape out of it. So, it's like the lust demons and all that stuff. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people didn't because it had the amnesia, like hide and wait fear tactics. Not so much you'd see in like I don't know, like maybe like a Silent Hill or something. There wasn't combat. You could only run from the enemies. Well, I mean, there was technically combat because you could possess one of the demons and then kill things. But other than that, it was pretty much just run and hide and hope that the horror doesn't catch you type thing. They were initially going to make an uncensored version of the game, but unfortunately it says, "Hi gamers, we regret to inform you that our company is currently struggling with financial problems. Due to technical and legal reasons, Madmind must cancel the development of Agony Unrated. Part of the team will continue to support Agony on Steam and consoles by publishing new patches." And then they speak about patches on the Xbox One and the PS4. I love the game. Like I played the I guess it was a demo. I'm not really too sure. It was like 6 or 7 hours long. So it's a pretty fucking good demo if it was a demo. But I played through it. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed like the story of it and whatnot. It was unique in the sense that it was based in hell and there was a lot of uncensored shit. Like I was unsure about streaming it because there was a lot of boobies. We got to see a lot of boobies in that. But it looked really interesting. It sucks that they're not going to be able to make the uncensored version of it. But I think from what this one website saying, the game reviewed poorly due to contextless shock value content and the fact it simply wasn't fun to play. I personally thought it was fun to play. It was scary. It scared the shit out of me. But once again, yeah, I mean, the Amnesia gameplay isn't really that fun for a lot of people, so I could understand why. Like, let's go hide in a corner. Let's hope the thing doesn't find us. Then we'll sneak around. And then sometimes, for some odd reason, they're just going to turn around and see you anyways. So I can understand that. I can understand where they're coming from. But at the same time, I want, like... it's not I just want boobs in games, but I want more uncensored, like, horror. I want more adult themes and adult things in video games, which still most people nowadays, they're like, oh, well, video games are stuff for kids. Oh, it's Minecraft. Oh, it's Call of Duty. Oh, this and that. Like, no, dude, it was a good horror game in the sense that it was something you weren't expecting. You weren't expecting a goat-hoofed demon with triple J breasts jumping out at you and ripping your heart out, were you? I fucking wasn't. But it really was fun to play. I just wasn't that big of a fan of the gameplay itself. But either way, it is what it is. That's the risk you take with making a video game, is financial reasons do happen. Here's to hoping that the company does well. Next up, Star Wars. Visceral Studios was making a Star Wars game too, but one of the project leads, Amy Hennig, was the creative director of the project. She left in January, and she's doing not EA. She left EA in January and doing indie stuff. They're saying that the game that was initially going to be made, they codenamed it Ragtag. It's not really the same game anymore, and it's going to be put up on the shelf for the time being. It says the Vancouver studio is working on something pretty different, Hennig says, describing Visceral's project as being on the shelf. It's not real. It's really not. Once you go more open world, and it's such a different game to the one we're making. Everybody loved what we're doing, and I'd love to see us resurrect that somehow, but it's complicated. I want open world Star Wars games. I love Knights of the Old Republic. Star Wars Galaxies is one of my favorite games of all time. It was an MMO, but still, it was so fucking good. After the combat update, there's not really too many more. Like the Old Republic, which I'm playing off and on, and it's fun. Like the stories are interesting, and for lack of a better word, it is open world because it's an MMO. Kinda, I don't know. A lot of MMOs aren't even open world because you're still gated by levels in certain areas, so maybe not. But I love Star Wars. It's my favorite fandom. I want more open world games, which this has nothing to do with the game I said last week with, it was called Jedi Fallen Order. That's a single player game. Once again, don't know if that's going to be open world. No, don't know if that's going to be, on rails, if it's going to be like a Force Unleashed type thing. I'd personally like an Unreal Engine 4 Knights of the Old Republic-esque game, which funnily enough, there's a person who is actually remaking Knights of the Old Republic in Unreal Engine. I think it's on Twitch. I think it's Aperion or something like that. I don't remember. I watched him a little while ago doing that. But either way, more open world Star Wars. Unfortunately, it was shelved for right now, and like she said, hopefully it gets resurrected some way, shape, or form. It'd be nice. I'd love it. I don't want a Han Solo movie. I want a fucking open world Star Wars game. Just saying. Next up, there's this game called Temtem. It's a Pokemon-inspired MMO, and it's on Kickstarter currently. It looks really, really interesting. I want it. Like, straight up, I want it. Pokemon, there are beast capturing. You can train critters. It looks like you can have 2 out at a time. I don't know if you can have more. I don't know how many you can have in total. It looks like very interesting creature designs. There's actually a game on mobile called Super Monster League. Super Monster League. I've been playing it off and on for God knows a year. Also, I just realized this was in my freaking head, which is great. But it actually looks like this. It's free to play, and it's actually not pay to win. I've been enjoying the hell out of it, and it would be fun to be able to have something like this. It's an MMO, so you can create your own little bases and whatnot. You can go hang out with your friends. You can carry your Pokemon behind you, or whatever it is they're going to be calling in this game. Dude, you can even have co-op trainer battles with people. That looks really interesting. And then, of course, we have evolutions and things like that. I'm excited for it. Like, there are some interesting games coming out this year, and there's a fire shark thing. Cool. Looks like you can have 4 in total, so I'm down for that. Competitive battles, I don't care about. But either way, I'm excited for it. Hope we can get some goods, and hope we can find ourselves some legendaries. Ooh. Yeah, go check that one out on Kickstarter, too. Seems very interesting. In much smaller news, apparently on Amazon Italy, there was Bloodborne 2, Sunset Overdrive 2, and a few other games that were up for pre-order. But the problem is that, like, this has happened before, and sometimes it doesn't mean anything. There was someone who was saying that the Shadows Die Twice game, I think it was Vatividya, he made a video. Shadows Die Twice, he said that From already stated that Shadows Die Twice is not the Souls-like game they're working on. If there's a Bloodborne 2, like I recently revisited Bloodborne, I love the game. I love the game's lore, I love the game's combat, I love the game's, like, visuals and all that stuff. I love the game, period. I would love to have another one. It's because it's great to have Lovecraft MMOs or Lovecraft inspired MMOs. I'm a Lovecraft fan. Everyone already knows that. If you watched last week's video, there was like 5 Lovecraft references. I freaking love it. I'm excited for Bloodborne 2. Sunset Overdrive I never played. I didn't really care about. So, it is what it is. I'm not really super worried about it. But supposedly there's going to be a new Splinter Cell too, which Splinter Cell Conviction was one of, if not the best multiplayer or co-op multiplayer game I've ever played. It was amazing. It was incredible. As for the other ones, they were okay. Some of them were good. I liked Chaos Theory. That was kind of fun, although I vaguely remember it. But either way, it's neat to be able to see things like that with games being pre-ordered, or games being put up on pre-order, and like, hey, maybe people won't see that. I don't even understand that logic. Like, there's a game that isn't even announced, technically. Why don't we put it up on pre-order? I mean, what if the game ends up not coming out? Didn't that actually happen with something? I want to feel like that happened with something, with like a Star Wars game or something. I don't know. Either way, super excited. Hopefully Bloodborne 2 does come out. I'd be so excited. This one's an interesting one. So Ubisoft has been spearheading a lot of multiplayer games. Of course, Ubisoft made Rainbow Six Siege, which has been ridiculously popular since it's... I know that it was more or less remade, because I remember the original iteration was not very good, and then all of a sudden, this, like, they had an explosion of people gaming on it. I know, like, a good 10 or 15 people to play it every freaking night, so it has to be good. I'm not a fan of it, really. I'm not a fan of shooters, but what an Ubisoft... I think it was the president? Yes. No. Yes, Lionel Renaud explained that the company wants to give players lots of smaller stories instead of one contained narrative that you finish and forget. And as quoted, he said, "What drove this is the will to not give finite experiences. The idea was that you have this conflict and there's a resolution and then it's finished. You killed the bad guy, for instance. We build a strong nemesis. The goal of the game is to kill him, free the country. We've done it a few times in our games, but when you succeed, you have to leave the game because there's nothing else to do. So the goal was to break this and say that you will be a hero of a region or population many times, not just once. And if you get rid of a dictator or an oppressor, something else is going to happen in the world, and you will have a new goal," which I don't really like necessarily. He also said something about Assassin's Creed Odyssey. This is why I talk about having several fantasies, not only being the hero who's going to free a region, but maybe also the fantasy of having an economic impact, of being the best at business in this free country, or even having a say in how it should be governed now that you've gotten rid of the dictator. And I think we can get several different experiences, hopefully that audio wasn't playing, with different game systems in the same world, if the world is rich enough and the systems are robust enough. I still don't really... I'm a single player guy. I want single player experiences that I can go through, play, finish, and be done. Like, what he said he doesn't want is exactly what and I know many other people want. I don't want a multiplayer game where you get to do this thing, or it maybe not necessarily a multiplayer game, but most of the time when they're these persistent worlds, they have some type of multiplayer, either being something like with Far Cry or just like a straight MMO. But the thing is, I want single player experiences that have their finite thing. They can go through and do their stuff, and that's it. I want to be done with the game. It's a freaking game. I want to be done with it so I can move on to something else. I don't want to come back 2 months later and be like, oh, well, shoot, all this happened and I get to catch up on this and that. Like, no, I could play another game and go through an interesting story and be done. That's personally just me, but I don't know. I also really haven't bought many Ubisoft games in a while. I do want Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Yes, I do. But bar that. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old and disgruntled, and I just don't want any persistent stuff anymore. Even though I'm playing like Star Citizen, Elite Dangerous, freaking No Man's Sky, freaking I don't know what else. The Old Republic. I'm playing MMOs and persistent multiplayer games. So, I don't know. I don't know what I want. Do gamers really know what we want? None of us know what we want. It's like that one saying goes. That saying that I can't remember that we're moving on to a new topic for. All right, so something that was interesting. So Niantic, I've never heard how to pronounce it. The people who make Pokemon Go, they have been doing something called codename Niantic Occlusion, and they're using real-world AR occlusion featuring Pikachu and Eevee. And as you can see in this video, with AR, all the AR that we currently have, that I know of, you see the thing and then it moves around and it does stuff. And you can see it kind of like moving around in the world. But what this technology actually does that's interesting is the occlusion technology, it real-time detects when something is there. And as you'll see right here, Pikachu runs around shit and dodges out of stuff. It's really interesting. If we can do this with AR, like this is the infant stages of this, right? But if we can continue doing with this, think about in 5 years what we could do with AR. Imagine that. AR is, of course, augmented reality, which is different from virtual reality. Virtual reality is just a straight 100% you're in that world. Augmented reality is there are elements of something not in our reality in this, as you can see, like the Pokemon running around and stuff like that, which is also different from mixed media reality, mixed. I don't know. It's something else. One of the Windows things is doing it. But either way, I'm really excited for games to be doing that. You know, 5 years down the road, look at what are we going to be looking at? That it could lead to some incredible and amazing things. And I am so excited to be alive in a time where we're actually getting to birth all these things. It's so interesting. An interesting game that's coming out, Marvel Powers United VR, and apparently it's a VR game where you can control various Marvel superheroes and you get to go fight bosses. It has 8 people currently. It has Captain America, the Hulk, Rocket Raccoon, Deadpool, Black Bolt, Crystal, Thor, Black Panther, and the game will change based on who you choose. They were saying, for instance, whenever you get the Hulk, your hands will be changed into 2 gigantic green hands that you can smash. Rocket Raccoon and Captain Marvel can fly and they can shoot laser beams out. Black Panther will have his vibranium-powered suit, which will probably have his claws that you get to play. It seems very interesting. It is also an additional single-player mode. Co-op is supported. You can play. You can work as a team to take out bosses such as Guardian of the Galaxy's Volume 1, Big Bad Ronan the Accuser. So you and your buddy can jump in VR and go beat the hell out of things. It looks really interesting. Also seems like a way that you are going to very quickly break your screen and or your VR controller. But either way, it still looks pretty fun. If you're a Marvel fan, you have VR. It's going to be coming out in late July for $40. It's on Oculus. Hopefully it'll be on VR too, on Vive. And it said there's going to be more than a dozen playable characters to choose from. I'll be excited if it comes out for Vive, because I have a Vive, not the Oculus. So hopefully. Something that isn't a game that I just thought was really interesting. Google has an AR measuring app. As I said before, AR is augmented reality, so you get to see things in our world that we wouldn't normally see. As with this, as you can see, it will be an AR app, so you could measure things. Hey, boom, that table is 2 foot 6 inches. I'm sure you'll be able to change the measurements as well from imperial units to metric, but you know, being able to go see and look like, hey, that building is 700 feet tall, or that grapefruit radius is 19 inches, or, you know, that chick's breast size is triple. But yeah, so it'll be interesting. It's not, like I said, it's not a game, but it's just interesting to see that the AR technology is doing this. Like I said, dude, 5 years from now, imagine what we're going to be able to do. We're hopefully we'll bring back something like Google Glass, and everyone can wear them for a really affordable price, and we can just go wander around, take looks at things, and play stuff in our eyeballs. It'll be so great. We're definitely entering and hopefully running towards a cyberpunk type future, kinda, like without all like the identity theft and heavy government intervention and things like that. Last up on our story, in other VR news, it's been a lot of VR news this week. So there is actually a single person who has been making boss battles. An independent developer, Aklar45, made boss battles of famous Zelda games in VR on the Unreal Engine. They're all free to download right now. You can fight Armogoma, Darknut, Ganon, Ganondorf, Star-Lord, and Volvagia, sorry, whatever, I don't know. But yeah, you get to fight a bunch of different Zelda bosses in VR. I'm excited. I haven't been able to play it yet, but I'm definitely going to download them as soon as I'm done with this video. Looks like, who would not want to go fight like Volvagia and like Ganon and stuff? That'd be neat, I guess, right? Be cool. Maybe. Maybe not. Alright, so that's all of our news for today. I haven't really been doing too much in terms of any of the end stuff. Haven't really read too many comics or played too many games or whatnot. I started playing Elite Dangerous, but that's also a really super grindy game that many people already have played, so why am I going to talk about it? Star Citizen, they have a new update 3.2. Go check that out if you want to pay $40-ish to get the initial package. I know some people don't like it and you need you need Elon Musk's supercomputer to be able to play it at standard 60 FPS, but still, I was enjoying it. Other than that, we're all done for right now. So thanks for watching. If you want to see some more like this, don't forget to subscribe down on there. Let me know if there's anything that you guys want to see or that you guys have seen that seems interesting. New game, movie, TV show, technology, as we've seen a lot of VR in this one, comics, books, anything, let me know. Anyways, thanks, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.